there is a bit of understanding that you need to sharpen the sword, so to speak, right? I think part of why I keep coming back is there is an energy here, right? And experience, and acquisitions is a complex set of skills. It's not just something that you can pick up in an afternoon watching a YouTube video, right? And so there's a certain amount of skill building that continues. And when you get around people who are in various different situations in acquisitions, the more you listen to them, the more you hear from them, from their experiences, from their work, it builds yours. I think the best gift that I've gotten from this is not only learning how to do acquisitions, my own business is run better, right? I owned a business for 13 years before I met Kyle, and being here helped that business run better, you see? So there's a tremendous amount of ongoing experience and energy that you get from coming back to this again. I always explain it a little bit like a heartbeat, like the blood comes into the heart and it gets oxygenated from the lungs and everything else, and then it goes out to the extreme parts of your body. But then it got to come back again and get reoxygenated and then send back out to the extreme parts of the body. And it's that kind of rhythm that keeps you fresh and energy with new ideas, and then you go out and integrate them into your businesses, or you integrate them into your acquisitions. That's why I do it.
It's a perfect explanation to why so many people come back.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think the pulse is just about the right analogy, the pulse of when we're doing these events. It's spread out throughout the year intentionally. Mm-hmm. Makes a ton of sense. Now tell me, this group, this is a very unique group. Mm-hmm. And what makes it so special?
That's true. I think what makes it special is we curate the group. In other words, it's not just anyone gets in, right? And it's not that we're trying to be overly selective, but what it is we look for three things, okay? The first is, are you a decent human being? And it's not that we, and the reason that we do that is because we've just found through experience that we work more effectively with decent human beings than we do with not. We've tried it with jerks, it doesn't work that well, So we try to find decent human beings. The second thing is, are you accomplished? In other words, and it doesn't necessarily be in business, it could be in anything. It could be your personal life, it could be in sports, it could be whatever. But have you set a target for yourself, and have you worked to achieve it or overachieve it, right? So it's some sense of accomplishment, right? And then the third thing is, are you predisposed to help rather than take? And when you think about it, as I said, acquisitions is a complex set of skills. Wouldn't it be better to learn those skills in a community where you have accomplished, decent human beings who are ready to help you? I think that's the secret sauce, and I think that's why people keep coming back.
Makes a lot of sense, because there's no one in that room who isn't willing to answer a question or talk to someone about their experience or share what they're doing.
Absolutely.
There's none of that in there.
That's exactly right, yeah.
And with the networking event last night, and so even if you're shy, even if you're an introvert, which a lot of us are,
right?
Even if this networking isn't your thing, you almost can't help it. It's almost done for you here.
Right, that's exactly it. Yeah, people will approach you, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I think anybody who even, it doesn't matter what your personality type is. There's all sorts of different personality types here. They run the gamut, but they have those three basic, what I call DNA. They have that DNA. Accomplished, decent human beings who are predisposed to help.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Any message for someone who maybe this is their first time through? How do they take all this info? It's like you're drinking through a fire hose.
Right.
What should they be doing during this event?
After my first event, I said this to Kyle: be careful what you tell me, because I'll do it. And I think if you approach it just from a point of start somewhere, integrate that one thing, then move on to the next. And it's just a simple step of integrating, doing. And I think what you'll find is if you follow the steps, if you follow the recipe, so to speak, you will bake the cake. It happens. Yeah. So it's easy to be overwhelmed. It's easy to think, okay, where do I start? But when you go back, you have also the video of the event as well. Go back, look at those things and say, okay, where do I start first? And if you're really stuck, come to the group. These people here are predisposed to help. Yep. So if you're stuck, where should I start? What should I do? We're all here to help you. Yeah.
And we have those 3 core values you laid out, but there are different personality types here. Some people are more the analytical, maybe more the accounting background side of business, engineers, maybe how things work. And then there's the visionaries here. I mean, and sales and marketing, we got all kinds. And yet they seem to be very well mixed and merged and focused. And this formula works for almost anybody.
Right. I think there's a level of self-awareness in entrepreneurs that says, I'm good at this. I'm maybe not good at this. So this is what I do well, so I can do that. But the other part that maybe I don't do well, maybe I need some help. And so if you are self-aware and you have a good understanding of yourself, where you need help and where you think you're good, you just reach out. And like I said, there's nobody here that I've found anyways that would deny you their assistance.
And if we find them, we remove them.
Yeah.
So that's why you haven't found them.
Well, they almost self-select. They almost remove themselves, right? Because there is a kind of natural antipathy for that, right? And so I've never had, frankly, I can't remember there really being a problem there, but maybe there's been 1 or 2, but yeah, it doesn't last for very long. Yeah.
Now, you've set some pretty ambitious goals for yourself.
Yep.
Talk about the accomplishment you've already done.
Yep.
It was 4 or 5 businesses last time we talked.
Yep.
That was a while ago. What's
working on 6 and 7 right now. One is a series of auto body shops. The other one is a roll up of some tech companies. So those will hopefully be done by the end of this year.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Any message for Kyle? And if you have something you'd like to say to Kyle,
sure.
There.
Yeah. Kyle, when I was a little boy, my father passed away. And I spent my life looking for examples of what to be like as a man. And I really wanted to grow up to be a good man. That was my goal. And so I've been looking for models for that my whole life. And I continue to look for models for that. I think it's a natural predisposition of mine. What I want to say is that I can't think of a better role model than you, really. You are the DNA of this entire group. You are an accomplished, decent human being who's predisposed to help. And what I love about what you're doing is that you're incarnating everything that you are into a massive group, and that we're now able to take that and kind of spread it out as well and scale it. And I appreciate you. I love what you're doing. I love you as a brother, and I thank you very much. You mean the world to me, and thank you for being the model for me and for so many others. I'm deeply appreciative.